Hello, welcome back to Liv's Bookshelf. I'm Liv, and today we are talking about taking criticism. Hi, welcome to Author's Notes. Today we are going to be talking about criticism, how to take it, and how to know if you're getting good criticism, critical criticism, or just bad criticism. Now, I know lots of you guys are writing books. I'm writing a book right now, and I know so many people in real life and online that are writing books, and there's so many things to think about. You gotta think about characters, you gotta think about plot, you gotta think about world building, you gotta think about time frame, time periods, age, audience, so many things to think about while you're writing your first novel. And as an editor, as a book blogger, and now as a writer, I have seen authors go through all of these different stages, and I think the most vital thing that you have to think about is after all of it is even done. So picture this, you've just finished your novel, and you're so excited to present it to the world. First, you need to go through an editor and or some beta readers. Preferably you would go through an editor and then some beta readers. Not many, just a few, just to polish it off, you know? Now, your book is finished. You've looked at it, you've edited it yourself, you've gotten a professional editing software to look at it, and you paid lots of money for the software, and you gotta say, that's a nice book. And you're nervous. So you ask a friend, hey, can you look at my book for me? Just read a couple of chapters and see if you like it. The friend agrees, and wow, the feedback you get is amazing. And by amazing, I mean they're going through every chapter and they're saying, this is perfect, this is amazing. You are the god of writing. This is where you stop yourself. This is bad feedback. This is bad criticism. In fact, it's not criticism at all. If someone goes through your writing, even if it was perfect, and can't find anything wrong with it, then they're just pumping up your ego. This is a mistake I see a lot of authors go through. This is a mistake that I went through multiple times. I wanted my ego pumped up, and so I took that great criticism, and I was loving it, man. I thought that I was on top of the world, and I was the best writer ever. When in reality, my friends were just pumping up my ego because they didn't want to tell me what I was doing wrong. People who will tell you what you're doing wrong are the people you want to stick with as you go through your writing career. Now, critical feedback. Critical feedback is the type of feedback that people send back to you and they're invested in your work. They give you paragraph upon paragraph of what you need to fix, and they brainstorm with you ideas. This is what you can do if you have a personal editor, and you can message them online or you can talk to them in real life. I have an editor that I do this with, and on a daily basis I run ideas through them. Say, hey, how would this fit into my story in chapter 10? They say, maybe not. Maybe you can move it to chapter 15. I think it would fit excellently there. Or they say, maybe not, just throw the idea away, or tuck it in for a later date. Critical feedback is something that every author needs, and you need it from somebody that you trust and that you can open yourself up to. Now, good criticism. Good criticism is not really what it sounds like. We just talked about bad criticism and critical feedback. Good criticism is when people are telling you that your book is bad, for all intents and purposes. They're not pumping up your ego, but they're not giving you critical feedback. They're not quite invested, but they are lending to tell you who your target audience is and whether or not they like the book. Someone who has never read a book before may read your book and say, hey, I hate it. Who has never read that genre before, they should be interested in your book. And if they're not, maybe you need a better hook. Maybe you need something better to pull them in. I'll give you a good example. The Marvel and the DC universe. And we all have our DC fans, we all have Batman fans, and we all know Marvel fans. Now, I'll admit, I know more Marvel fans than I know DC fans. Me and my friend fight all the time because she loves Captain America, and I just don't. My mother loves the Hulk, and I just don't. But I love my Guardians of the Galaxy, I must say. They're different genres, and I used to not even love the MC universe at all. I thought it was stupid and I thought it was dumb, and I was never into comic books until a couple of years ago, and I started slowly getting more and more into it. It's not because I'm a comic book fan, it's not because I have a history of loving comic books, and it's not because I grew up around comic books, it's not because I was started from a young age loving comic books. It's because the Marvel Cinematic Universe got me into comic books. They got me, someone who was not into the genre, someone who actually had a negative allergic reaction to the genre, into their movies, and slowly I got into comic books as well. This is what you should do. You should not rely on a target audience, create your target audience. And if someone has an allergic reaction to your book and to your writing, take their feedback and run with it. That doesn't mean that you have to change the entire plot of your book. It doesn't mean that you have to change anything, really. But you should be open to all advice around you. Do you have a burning writing question? Leave it in the comments below, and I'll answer it on the next episode of Author's Notes. See you next time!